So after growing demand, excuse me, of more information regarding locating some of these high-end coins, a lot of coins I've been talking about and sharing with you have come from websites like Great Collections, eBay, Heritage, and I love discussing the topic of modern coinage and the importance of value even the newest of coins. Okay, so as kind of an example of the coins that I would personally look for that will grade those higher grades, I have some loose rolls, or actually a loose roll, and some 2005 Jefferson nickel buffaloes that I had gone through, and a lot of people would say, would I go through normal rolls I get at the bank to locate some of these mid state 67, 68 coins, and what would the quality be like? Okay, that's a great question, and I come across that all the time. But to help illustrate the point of how difficult it is to find some of the top end, top population coins out there, there's no better place to look than U.S. Mint sourced rolls. Okay, some of you have probably seen these before. This is the Journey, with it Westward Journey Nickels 2005D. So it's a Denver minted coin. The examples I'm going to show you were some buffaloes I pulled out of the same U.S. Mint wrapped rolls that I had purchased at the local LCS for 50 cents over face. Apparently, these are very unloved. Apparently, so I'm going to take advantage of it because you never know. You could find $1,000 coin in these rolls. Okay, so that's an example of the end of this one right here, end cap of the obverse 2005D, and the reverse. See, Ocean and View nickels is what these are called, but they're also called the Westward Journey. All right. So some would argue that these mint assembled rolls would have the highest of quality coins in them. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a batch of them that I've come across of the Buffalo coins here. So these are the 2005 Philadelphia's P minted. We're going to talk about, and I'm going to highlight the quality of such coins coming from the U.S. Mint sourced rolls. Okay, and you're going to find that they're going to be no different than what you would typically come across in circulated coinage. Now, 2005 nickels, they're already 13 years old. So the likelihood of finding affordable, if not face value, bankrolls of this particular coin is very unlikely at this point because we're 13 years out from the actual date of inception, the release of the Buffalo nickel. But if you could take a look at this coin right here, okay, so I don't know how close I could get, but you notice in the fields you got a few scratches. So the actual luster has been impeded. You have the scratch right here on the hind area of black diamond. So if I flip this over on the obverse, this is where you're going to see a lot of the glaring imperfections. Okay, you see nick right here on the cheek. Okay, you have a few scratches here in the fields, so that this particular example is not clean. So as I flash the luster, you can also see two very noticeable scratches right here on the cheek area. I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of coins, but I wanted to show you a small selection of Philadelphia and a small selection of the Denvers to compare. So here's another Philadelphia. Okay, you got a couple scratches here in the fields. You have a number of them right here in the forehead area, the cheek, right here next to the mouth. Now, these are all areas that if you had scratches like this, okay, and you have them with enough frequency and quantity, that this coin right here would grade no better than about a 65. It's kind of shocking, huh? It's not surprising that some of them would actually grade even lower than that, like a 64, because some of them get so tremendously beat up at the mint. Now, they do package these up in great big bags, you know, and as they're minted, they fall into this hopper with other coins. So as soon as they fall into the batch of other coinage, okay, believe you me, they're going to come up with various scratches, nicks, and dents. And that's going to largely affect the overall quality and grade of these coins. So there's one particular scratch here that goes right across the buffalo that's particularly distracting. You have some handling right here, which appears to be perhaps maybe a fingerprint. You have a couple nicks here in the field. We'll go through one more here. Oh, look at this one. This big gash right here. We'll keep it away from anything higher than the 65. No doubt about it. Couple scratches here in the forehead. The fields appear to be relatively clean. You have a few surface scuffs that look pretty minor. But aside from that, this one is a disqualifier. There's no use of sending a coin if you know it's going to grade a 65. The coin in itself will be worth about $2 or $3, and you have paid about $30 for grading fees. It's not a worthwhile investment. Few scratches here in the fields, couple little nicks here on the hind area of the buffalo. All right, and then here's another one. This one's pretty scratched up all across Jefferson's profile here. And this is just as a result of the coins like rubbing up against each other, especially during packaging. You get that quite often. Some would say that these rolls from the mint are hand assembled, okay, for quality control. Then they're totally not. These are automatically fed into the coin wrappers and then machined closed. So you got a bunch of little scratches here in the field, you know. So these are the Philadelphia minted coins. I went through one roll of each because that's all they had. Here's the Denver Mint. Denver Mint has the same afflictions, but you see there's a lot more nicks. The Denver Mint coins didn't get that better quality care compared to the Philadelphia Mint for whatever reason. I don't know if they use different hopper bags or if these are handled any more different. Here's the reverse of this coin right here. Actually, the reverse doesn't look too bad on this. I don't see anything distracting, but that obverse is absolutely atrocious. Here's another example. Scratches all along the top. Some would attribute that to, you know, nicked up planchet. You have a bunch of surface scuffs right here in the fields. Yeah, again, this is a coin that maybe would grade out at a 64 plus, maybe 65. And here's one more Denver minted coin. Wow, what a gash right here next to the mouth. You know, the fields appear to be clean, but you have like a bunch of like hairline scratches all across the face here, which, yeah, it's not exactly what you want to see. But the reverse looks great on this one. All right. So those are a few examples. Now I did pull aside a couple coins here that I thought were the best of the group, and I feel like in my estimation these should grade at around a 66. So this first one right here, the fields are clean throughout from what I could see. Okay, the only item of note is there's a small scratch here next to the mouth. You know, you have your basic requisite tiny little nicks, probably planchet nicks. The reverse is clean. Okay, I would say this would grade out no higher than the 66. Even at a 66 level, you're talking about a $20 coin. Again, not worth sending out. Here is a Denver. This one's relatively clean as well. Couple little scratches, you know, not nothing major. Again, this is a coin that I feel that would not grade anything higher than a 66. There's a couple distracting little marks here in the field north of the buffalo. Yeah, and you're probably asking myself, if I'm not going to submit these, what am I going to do with them? I'll probably end up just keeping them or them into an album. On this particular coin, this is another one I saved. You have a couple little distracting little ticks here on the nose. The face overall is relatively clean. The fields is pretty nice. And on the reverse with the buffalo, mark free, distraction free. Again, in my estimation, PCGS or NGC would grade this one no higher than a 666. So at that grade level, it's not even worth it. But that gives you an idea. Even comparing the U.S. Mint sourced rolls to what you would typically find out in the wild, you know, in bank rolls, okay, the quality is really no different than what you see. Now, what makes the higher grade coins so valuable is the quality control. All right. Even though we're dealing in an age with higher technology, you know, better safeguards, better cleaning agents, and so on and so forth, the one thing that I could tell you that has kind of impeded the progress of higher quality coinage has been the human error component to the whole thing, and that's maybe not so much the human error, but you know, also mechanical. When the coins are struck and then they fall down the slide and into a hopper, okay, there's a lot of parts that the coin touches and scrapes up against that give some of these coins some of the post mint damage, if you will, of the coins. But those are a couple things that I particularly look at, especially when it comes to higher denominations, bigger coins like nickels, quarters, half dollars, that sort of thing. And you know, I appreciate you guys joining in this evening. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to post them down below in the comment section. I appreciate your guys' time, and you know, you guys keep hunting, you keep the determination up, and you'll have fun in this wonderful hobby we call coin collecting. So you guys take care, have a fantastic evening, and I shall see you next time. See ya.